Hello and welcome to this week's video. I pride myself on being an organised and tidy person, and if a space isn't tidy or organised, I don't cope very well. I just don't want to be there. And unfortunately, that's kind of how my part of the studio where I'm doing my vintage home bits is looking. And excuse the state of me, but I was working on my furniture and I thought, oh, I'll go and list some items, I'll go film a video. And I walked over here and I was like, I don't want to be here. So I thought, rather than carry on filming what I bought this week, I am now going to film Tidy Up with me and list with me and work through my backlog with me. And I'll probably, who knows, 4 or 5 videos, maybe 6, I don't know, but we're gonna keep going until everything is listed, cleaned, and there is nothing, no backlog. And I am the worst person when it comes to buying bans. Like, my brain does not understand a buying ban, but you guys are gonna hold me accountable. You are going to make sure that I do not buy a single thing unless it's like a £1 million Chinese vase. Exceptions to the rule. Not gonna buy a single thing until this mess is gone. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. And some of it you would have seen before in my like what I bought this week videos, because I've been buying it and leaving it. Buying and leaving, buying and leaving, because I just don't wanna be in this space right now. So that was then, this is now. So let me flip you around, show you what I'm talking about, and then we can just start somewhere and just move forward. Okay, are you ready? Open your eyes. Okay, so that shelf, that shelf, that shelf, that shelf, that shelf, and not that stool. This stuff on the floor. And this by my feet, a bag full of stuff, that and that. So it's quite a bit, but if we start somewhere and see how far we get, and then hopefully this will all be tidied away and listed in not too distant future. Because I am quite, like, not OCD, but specific in the way I like to do things, I like to start somewhere with purpose and move on. So I can't just pick up something and just move to that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with this bag right here. That seems like a good starting point. Get all of that done. First up, as you would have seen in the clips just now, is this gorgeous brass tray. And it's very rustic and primitive. If you look at the edging, it's not perfectly formed. This, I believe, has sort of been hand hammered out into shape, and it's got these beautiful, intricate etchings on them. It really is stunning. Quite weighty too. No markings on the back that I can see. So that's just the back there. And first, it's the age-old debate of, do I polish? And I'm torn, because this is beautiful as is. And with the little bits of patina that are starting to show, for instance there, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this as is. I think the aged patina on this particular tray, because it's obviously hand hammered and a much older piece, I think it suits it rather than being very shiny. So I'm going to do a little bit of research on this and give it a wipe down just to clean it up, not to remove any of the gorgeous patina, and then we will take some photos. So I'm just using some water, plain water. and soft cloth, and just giving that a good wipe to remove any dust or dirt, but not the natural patina. There you go. And then the back side as well. Perfect. So from that quick Google image search, this looks like it could be Middle Eastern or Asian or Indian, and potentially an antique, especially with it being this hand hammered, not perfect circle. So I'm going to take some photos now and then we can get it listed on the website. First item done. Woo! There's my little listing setup. So I like to use natural light as much as possible. I've got it coming in from this side. So if I pop that on, turn that down just to give a little bit of side light. Okay, so when I take my photos, I like to go 2 times square format, and I might bump the exposure up 1, and I can always dial it down if I need, but that's my starting spot. So that's the first picture. Oh, is it going to focus? Which I really like that. I think that's a good representation of the tray. So we'll keep going, and then I just take photos from different angles, showing different details. And then I'll grab my measuring tape, take a photo of the measurement for when I list, and a quick video as well to add to the listing. And that's it. First item done. Then I'll go home and I'll put a listing template together, which my VA lists on the website for me. So 1 done. Woo-hoo! Now that the photos are done, I need to pop it on a shelf or in a box and take a note of where that is, so I can use that for my SKU when it comes time to list this on the website. I think I'm going to pop this onto shelf 4, which is there, and then just take a photo so I know that that's shelf 4 for the SKU. Next item out the bag is this brass fork. Now, this one I believe could do with a polish, so I'm going to give that a wipe with some Barkeeper's Friend, which will polish that up nicely, and then photos. And I'm going to use that to clean it. And you can see I'm not applying much pressure at all. I'm just letting the Barkeeper's Friend do the work. Flip it over and just do the back side as well. Right, let me just get a cloth to wipe that with. And some paper towel. Right, and that's done. So I don't know if you agree with me, but I think that looks a lot better. It's still got some of that aged patina, but it's also got a bit of that brassy glow to it. So I like how that's come up for that particular piece. It's vintage, but not too old. Photo time. And fork is going in box A. Next thing out the bag is this little Pyrex yellow snowflake, and I guess this would be a sauce bowl. They didn't have the little saucer that would go with it, but I saw that and I thought, oh, that's lovely. I've had the blue Pyrex. I think the pattern is Gaiety. It was a blue casserole with white snowflakes. So this is the yellow with the black snowflakes. So I'm just going to give that a wipe. It's pretty clean. And we're going to photograph that one. With breakables, what I like to do is get them ready for shipping. So I'll stuff them with paper and wrap them. So when it comes time to post, all I need to do is pop some bubble wrap around that and stick it in its box with the peanuts. Next is this beautiful white ceramic raised relief vase. So it's got this fluted edge and it's got the rose detail there and this ribbed side. No markings that I can see on the base. However, there is a chip which I missed down there and a small chip in the glaze there, but I still think that it's beautiful and that would look lovely with some roses or a bunch of flowers in it. And that little chip, you can just put it to the back and you won't see it. So that is very clean, nothing I need to do with that. So let's go straight to photographing. And I'm going to pop that into box C. Yesterday got just too hot for me, so new day, and we're going to pick up right where we left off. So next out the bag is this really gorgeous pair of Mantle dogs. So they are ceramic, they are vintage, there is a lot of crazing on them, but I don't think that detracts from how beautiful they are. They're also known as Wally dogs, so, or King Spaniels, but they've got this like gold chain. Yeah, they're just really pretty ornaments and in really good condition. So no cracks or chips that I can see. So aside from the crazing, which is quite normal for pieces of this age, they are in beautiful condition. So I'm going to wipe those down and then I'm going to photograph them. Oh, Studio Ghostie's back. Can see the bottom of the bag. So 1, 2, 3, 4 more things out this bag. Next up, this Wedgwood Primrose creamer, very mid-century modern, that green and brown palette. Lovely condition. So yeah, let's get that photographed and then that detail on the handle as well is nice. And there's also, I'll show you it while I'm here actually, because then I'll just do the two together. This Wedgwood casserole dish or pie dish, same Primrose pattern. So I'm gonna list them separately, but I'll just photograph them all now. Next we have this gorgeous studio pottery bowl, and it looks like dragon skin. I don't know if you can make that out, and it's got these serpent style handles, and this reminds me of the Never-Ending Story. So see that tail there, it's such beautiful detail. And then all the little hairs as well, individually done. And then that's on the underside. And it's marked, I think, is it Sligo? And it is beautiful. I really love it. There's a crack on the side, but I think it might have been part of the firing process where the pottery has cracked, because that doesn't look like knock it against something crack. It's sort of where the clay is almost separated. Yeah. But how gorgeous is that? So I'm just going to give that a good clean, and then we're going to get that photographed and listed. You would have just seen from the Google reverse image search that I did, and it looks like the pottery bowl is from the 60s, 70s, although I couldn't find one exactly like that straight off the bat. But yeah, it looks like he did some really cool sort of sea inspired pottery. So I'll do a bit more research at home. But final item to come out of this bag before we move on to one of the many other crates or shelves is this lovely little Art Deco, Art Nouveau. So you've got the sandwich platter and then 5 little sandwich plates, these square plates, and it's a really pretty floral border. And I would say that's more Art Nouveau than Art Deco. There is crazing to the plates, but again, that's fairly standard for vintage tableware. There is a mark on the back. I've not come across that before, so I'm going to do a quick Google image search and I'll take you along and show you very quickly what I find out about these. Again, I couldn't find these exact ones, but that is the maker symbol for Morley, Fox & Co. And these are probably around the 1930s. This sandwich platter does have a little bit of staining, but it is still really pretty and completely usable. So I'll give those a wipe down and get them photographed. Oh my gosh, that is amazing that we got the first bag done. So now we're going to move on to this crate. See those goodies there. And the first item, I'm just going to start at the top and work my way down, is this little brass plaque. And it's signed on the back. Don't know if you can make that out. And it's got this little mirror in it. And I'm just going to give it a clean, I think. I don't think I'm going to polish it. I'm just going to give that mirror some cleaning. And then I think that one's ready to go. You will have noticed that I've stopped showing you the cleaning, photo, packing bit because it's pretty much all the same. So I think you'll probably be just more interested in the items that I'm pulling out and that are being worked through. So next is this wood framed. This is type of like Hessian burlap. And this raised brass, I think that's a coffee grinder from circa 1940s. And it looks like it's nailed on there. Nothing on the back, just a wooden back with a little hanging hook. But that's a really nice piece for a gallery wall. Something that's a bit more neutral toned, little bit of metal in there, bit of wood, bit of burlap material, so mixed media. And again, I'm not gonna polish that, I'm just gonna clean that and then that'll be ready to photograph. Next out the box is this pair of really nice framed pastel drawings. Oh, you can't see the window. There we go. So there's that one. And then I've got to get the angle just right. That one. So both of them are noted on the back as being done by H.J. Jacoby or Jacoby. This is a Yorkshire Dale scene, and this one is the River Washburn. So you can see on the back there. And then they're in these gold painted frames. So yeah, those are really lovely, and I'm going to sell those as a pair. The next 3 items at the crate are also pieces of art. Not ones that I'm going to sell together, but I'll show you in one go. So there's this print here, and that says Elizabeth Shepherd, I think, Viola Tricolor. So there's these lovely violas. And then on the back it says specially printed for Avon. And then this rectangular framed print with these cute little piggies. And it's signed on the bottom, Julie Hocken, 1987. So it's a nice mount. Again, for the neutral colour palette. Sorry, that window's not helping. And then just ready to mount on the back. And the next one is not vintage at all, but it caught my eye. So I believe this is a print of the cover of the New Yorker magazine from February 18th, 2010. Just in a nice blue frame and mount. Again, ready to hang. So I'm going to photograph those separately so I can list them separately. Next out my crate of curiosities is this lovely wall shelf. So in the shape of a heart with a mirror with this holder here, and it's got a rope on the back for you to hang. But this would be lovely, I think, if you had like a small bunch of dried flowers. I think that would be really pretty in there. A real nice sort of country cottage aesthetic. What do you think of that one? I'm sort of torn between the orange pine, because on my furniture so often orange pine is poo-pooed at, and it's a case of stripping it back and whitewashing it and doing everything you can to remove the orange. Yet in little home decor pieces like this, I think it gives a real country rustic charm. So let's give it a wipe and photograph. We've got just 3 more items left. Oh no, 4. I spotted another one. So next, a boomerang. So I thought this was pretty cool. It's marked Australia on the back, and it's got the sticker on here, Barubi art. So it is Australian Aboriginal art. And the most beautiful hand-painted detailing with these dots. So they've got this texture to it. And I thought that was just gorgeous. So again, a wipe and photo. Here we have this lovely woven porcelain basket. So it's on this pedestal base, and then it's got this lattice rope work around the side. It's marked Cassasus at the bottom, which I believe is a Spanish pottery maker. It's in okay condition. It's in fairly good condition. There's just quite a few nicks and stuff on the glaze. And there is this bit missing here, which I missed when I saw this. I just was so taken with it when I saw it in the charity shop that I think I didn't spend enough time looking it over. I think I only paid £2 for it. So would I have got it if I'd seen that chip? I think I still would have, because it's not super noticeable, especially if you're looking at it from the top down. And I think it's still a lovely piece that's got a lot of life left in it and deserves to be a centerpiece in someone's home. So, love that, and I'm happy to finally be getting that listed. And next up we have this wooden duck, which I'm assuming has been outside in the garden, and it's got this awesome weathered look. It looks like it used to have colour at one point, so maybe like a green and a red beak and yellow eyes, but now it's got this really rustic, weathered, greyish look, and I think he's awesome. Penultimate item is a little one. Staying with the wooden theme, we've had a wooden duck. Now we have a wooden chicken. I just love how bright he is. And it says, "Thank you, visit again." But yeah, he's lovely. Okay, last item in the crate. And I think after this we would have done, I don't know, it's something like 20 or 21 pieces. So we'll call it quits for this video here, but I definitely saved the best to last. Oh. I can't even get it all in the frame. It's a cherub. A golden, gorgeous cherub. Now I think it's resin, and it does have a little bit of damage on its foot here. If you can see that, there's some missing there. And on the back it says designed for Gisela Graham, London. So not old, but gorgeous. I absolutely love this. So pretty big, quite lightweight, and not resin. I don't mean resin, what do I mean? What do I mean? Fiberglass? I think that's what I mean, fiberglass. So, I mean, it's just beautiful. So I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna photograph that just yet, because it's probably a bit big for my little setup, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so I think this is how I'm going to photograph her, and hopefully square will fit. Okay, so pause. I've noticed that this foot is quite a bit more cracked than I initially saw. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me twist it around and show you. See that crack there. So I'm going to get some glue in that to steady it up. And then we'll resume the photo shoot. Oh yeah, see all the way around there as well. This is what happens when you get excited by something. You just don't see the imperfections. Right, let's glue that up before it gets any worse. What I'm going to be using is some super glue and some activator. So I'm going to slightly separate that and just get some glue down into there. Okay, I'm going to wipe away the excess. So I'm going to squeeze and wipe, and then I'm going to pop it over and do the same on this side. And wipe away the excess. Next is I want to set it in place now. So I'm going to take that activator and spray it whilst I'm clamping this shut. So that activator will now have glued that, or set that glue solidly now. Right, slight change of plan. Because she is so pretty and I want her to look her best, I'm going to use some of this putty and just some of this dark sand model color, and what I'm going to do is fill in the crack and then color it to match the rest. Just popping some on a piece of scrap wood, just a little bit of that color to take the stark white away, and then I'm just going to mix that up, and I'm just working in small sections. So back of a putty knife, I'm just going to smooth this into the cracks and just wipe away that excess so that it's not so much work. I'm happy with that section. So now I'm going to move on to the foot here, this bit here. Can you see that? That bit there. Okay, that's that foot bit done. And now to go in there. Now, for that great piece missing there, pop that bit out because that wants to come out anyway. And then we're going to need quite a lot. And it may be a case of building it up, or maybe using a different product completely, but we'll try this, see what happens. Right, let's start with that and see how that dries. Okay, so I guess we're not finishing the video here, and I'll check back in with you tomorrow once it's dried. Before we fast forward tomorrow, I just want to show you this. Empty bag, empty crate. That makes me very happy. Okay, so I've brought my angel across to my little workstation. You can see there that plastic putty that I put there is dried. And I'm going to use a variety of things and just go for it. No rhyme or reason. But I have this set of acrylic paint pens that I bought off Amazon. And I'll have that link below because I use this for furniture touch-ups. But there's these metallic pens, and I think these two here are going to work really well. So that's first, and then I've got these mica powders. So I've got that one, which is a coppery color, and that one, which is a gold color. And between that and various other things I've got all of this stuff because of furniture. So I've got ink pads, I've got waxes, I've got just lots of different things to play with. So I'm just going to point you towards it and you can just watch me put stuff on. So I'm going to go in with this color acrylic pen first, just to lay down that base color. And I'm just going to work in sections. So that's quite a bit lighter. So I also have this color here, which looks to be more of a goldy. Ooh, yeah, so dab some of that on. So I've got a bit of both. And then I'm just going to take a brush. This is what I use for my furniture waxing. And I'm going to take some of that copper mica powder, just a touch on the end of my brush, and dab it on there. And then a touch of the gold. Oh, I like that. I think that's worked quite nicely. And then that gold leaf. I'm thinking this might look a bit like gold leaf if I stamp it. Yes, there. Perfect. Okay, so it was this color first. So this kind of has the same texture as the rest of it because it's that plastic putty. Okay. Then it was the gold on top. And it's not like colouring in, I'm just haphazardly, just to give it a bit of texture and a bit of depth. I'm not an artist by any means, so this could be the completely wrong way to do it, but it seems okay. Then it was a little bit of copper. That's the copper mica. And then dab that into there. And then that gold mica. Okay, and then it was this ink stamp. So that's quite one tone, whereas you can see here there's a lot of dark browns. So I'm going to get a dark brown on my acrylic pens. I'm just tapping that just to smooth it out, and so it's not so harsh. That's better, I think. I like that. I have got gold leaf, so I can apply gold leaf if I want, but I'm trying not to. I want it to be a fairly quick fix. Now I'm just going to do that inside part of the foot. So gold. I'm doing this one a bit differently because the gold was at the top last time and I'm doing it at the bottom now. And then that other colour as well, which is a slightly darker brown. Right. And now I just need to do that top part of the foot there. Okay, I can't help myself. I think I've got it pretty good, but I need to add the gold leaf. So I've got my gilding paste here and a disposable brush because the gilding paste is going to ruin whatever brush you use. This is kind of turned from a declutter with me to a repair items with me. So with gilding paste, you don't want to get it on too thick. Just a light coat, just dab it where you want the gold leaf to stick. As you can see, it's not evenly done anywhere else, so I'm going to replicate that again. And gilding paste, you want to leave that to dry and get tacky before you push your gold leaf on. There we go. I'm just going to leave that for 10-15 minutes just to get tacky. Okay, so I finished working. So I've finished with that repair now. As you can see, I think that looks really good. And then on that side, so I've just sprayed that with some satin varnish just to seal that gold leaf in. But I think that looks much better now. Obviously I'll disclose that it's had a repair, but I'm really pleased with that. And then I've just added 2 white hooks in the back because I think that's what that's for. And then it hangs from the ceiling like that. So, oh, aha. So that's obviously what's happened before. This hole is too big for the hook where it's worn, and that must have been, I'm guessing, that fell then, and that's why that foot broke originally. So I'm just going to secure that with some putty maybe, just to stop that from falling out. But then I want people to be able to screw it in and out. I'll have a think on that, but yeah, other than that, super chuffed. So thank you for watching this week's video with me and de-stashing my stash. I'm super pleased with the progress I made for this video, and that was something like 21 items. There'll be a counter, so you'll know how many items I managed to list. Let me know, have you got a massive stash of stuff that you are not even looking at because it's just so overwhelming? Well, I still have a massive stash of stuff, but I have less than I had before I started, which is great. So in the next video of de-stash the stash, that's what I'm going to call it, we'll carry on and I'll take you along and I'll show you the stash that I'm de-stashing. Thanks for watching this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, the things, you know the things. And thank you for being here. Bye.